Hello everyone, welcome back to semester 2. This is lecture 1 in semester 2, and in this lecture we're going to cover grammar and writing. Writing will be very simple, it will be related just to the grammar lesson. First of all, let's start with the objectives. What are we going to cover in this lecture? We're going to differentiate between simple and compound sentences. We're going to use fanboys conjunctions to join independent clauses and make compound sentences. We're going also to identify the functions of the conjunctions and use them properly. Since fanboys is not one word, it's made out of the first letter of every conjunction used. Then I have different conjunctions and every conjunction has its own function. Then I have to know the function for each conjunction. And at the end you're going to write a very short narrative paragraph as before, but you have to use compound sentences in it. Let's start. First, to remember, we have to remember something. What does every simple sentence contain? Every simple sentence contain, or the complete sentence, we have to say that the complete sentence or the simple sentence must contain at least only one, only one subject and a verb, complete predicate, and a complete idea. So it must contain subject and a verb and a complete idea to be a complete sentence. And to call it a simple sentence, when the group of words has a subject, verb, and it makes sense, we call it a simple sentence or an independent clause. Why? When we say simple sentence or independent clause, we mean that this sentence can stand alone. It doesn't need help. It doesn't need to depend on something else. Then we call it independent clause. So it's made of one complete subject, one complete predicate, and it has a complete idea. Example: the students enjoy online teaching. Where is the subject? The students. Where is the verb or the complete predicate? Enjoy online teaching. And there's a complete idea. Then it doesn't need anything else to be added to it to be complete. Then it is complete. It is simple sentence, and we call it also independent clause because it doesn't depend on something else. So how many independent clauses does the simple sentence have? One. So one independent clause equal one simple sentence. One simple sentence equals one independent clause. So you see they are equal. One independent clause is the same as one simple sentence. So what is an independent clause? An independent clause is a clause that can stand alone. It is a group of words that contain subject, verb, and expresses a complete thought. So when I have a subject and a verb with a complete idea, I have one complete subject, one complete predicate, and complete idea. They make an independent clause, or I call it simple sentence. But what if this sentence contains more than one independent clauses? More than one independent clause, so it has two or more independent clauses, so then it's not a simple sentence. We call it compound sentence. But you have to know that these independent clauses must be joined in a certain way. So when I have more than one independent clause joined together in a certain way, they make a compound sentence. How? Let's see. So let's start first with the definition of a compound sentence. A compound sentence is a sentence that joins two independent clauses. It joins two independent clauses. So I have two independent clauses joined together with a coordinating conjunction or a semicolon. Coordinating conjunction or a semicolon. Example: the cat was happy. It's an independent clause. Why? I have a subject, the cat, I have a predicate, was happy, and it has a complete idea, then it makes an independent clause. The second independent clause: he slept underneath the bed, subject and the predicate and complete idea, then they make an independent clause. Let's see now how are we going to make these two independent clauses one compound sentence. One: the cat was happy, so he slept underneath the bed. First of all, here I used comma with conjunction so. So is one of the fanboys, is one of the coordinating conjunctions that we use to make compound sentences, and we have to use before them a comma. We cannot use only the conjunction without a comma. So here I made a compound sentence. The second way, I said the cat was happy, he slept underneath the bed. What did I add here? A semicolon. Since the two independent clauses are related to each other in ideas, then I can use a semicolon alone. So the semicolon stands alone. I do not add a conjunction with the semicolon. So there are two ways to combine two independent clauses to make a compound sentence. The first way is the comma and the coordinating conjunction. You see, comma plus coordinating conjunction. I cannot have a comma alone. I cannot have a coordinating conjunction alone. I must have them together. A coordinating conjunction is also known as a fanboys. So the coordinating conjunction is one of the fanboys. Or a semicolon. The second way is using the semicolon alone. You can also use a semicolon without a conjunction, you see, without, to create a compound sentence since the two statements are equal. Examples: the gentleman did not know where the sound came from, so he hid behind the tree. Comma, so, comma, coordinating conjunction. And notice the second sentence starts with the small letter. Second example: the teacher uploaded the class, semicolon, the kids beamed with pride. So you see, I only used a semicolon alone, and after the semicolon I have to use a small letter. Now let's get introduced to the coordinating conjunctions, the fanboys. As I said before, that the word fanboys is not one word. It's made of the first letters of every conjunction. F for, A for and, N for nor, B for but, O for or, Y for yet, and S for so. Let's see now every fanboy and its function. And we use it for addition. What do we mean by addition? By adding information. For example, I took a taxi and she drove home. Okay? Comma, then and. But shows contrast. Contrast to mean opposite ideas. Opposite ideas. Swans live on ponds, but penguins do not. So you see, there are opposite ideas. I use comma with the conjunction but. Or shows positive choices. Positive choice, good choices together, and I have to choose one of them. She cooked dinner, or she went out to a restaurant. So you see here I have positive choices, so I used the comma, then the conjunction or. So and for adding information, but for showing contrast, and or for showing positive choice. The other conjunctions are for, nor, yet, or so. For, we use it to show reason. Show is used for reason. I wore my blue dress, for everyone was dressing up. So you see, I have to use the for here since I'm showing reason, and I have to use comma before the conjunction for. Nor shows negative choices, opposite to or, negative choices. He didn't want help, comma, nor did she offer it. Okay? And here notice something that I added before the subject since I'm using nor. When I use nor and I have did or didn't, I put it before the subject, just in this case. Yet shows contrast. Yet shows contrast. Also, like but, it shows opposite ideas. Brian hurried, yet time was running out. Although he hurried, but the time was running out, comma, with the conjunction yet. The last conjunction, so, shows results. So I use it to show a result. I wanted to stay home, so I told my mom I was sick. Comma, so. Here I want to show a result, so I told my mom I was sick. I wanted to stay home, so I told my mom I was sick. So to show result, yet to show contrast, but to show contrast, nor to show negative choices, or to show positive choices, for to show reason, and to add information. Okay? We can move on now. Now let's practice a little bit. Mark the sentences as simple or compound. I have to see if every sentence is simple or compound. Simple, I mean one independent clause. Compound, I mean two independent clauses joined with a conjunction and a comma. Number one, the rain fell for hours and ruined the picnic. The rain fell for hours and ruined the picnic is simple. You might say it's compound because we have and. That's right. Okay, let me explain something for you. The rain fell for hours. If you're saying that I have here a compound sentence, then before and I take the first independent clause, and after and I take the second independent clause. Let's check if they make independent clauses. The rain fell for hours. Okay, it makes an independent clause. Let's read the second part. Ruined the picnic. No, it doesn't make an independent clause. Why? Because it's missing a subject. Who ruined the picnic? then it's not an independent clause. So here I notice that I do not have two independent clauses. I have one independent clause, but here the conjunction and joins the predicate. Here I have compound predicate. I don't have a compound sentence. So the rain fell for hours and ruined the picnic is a simple sentence because I have one independent clause. 2. I left but Mercy stayed. I left, I have here comma with conjunction but. Mercy stayed alone. Okay, Mercy stayed alone makes an independent clause. Mercy stayed, yes. I left also makes an independent clause. Then it is a compound sentence. Polar bears feed on seals. Seals feed on fish. You see, you notice here I have a semicolon and I have two independent clauses. Then it is a compound sentence. Female penguins usually stay at sea, but they return when their eggs hatch. Here I have comma with but, and the first part, female penguins usually stay at sea, makes an independent clause. They return when their eggs hatch also makes an independent clause. So I have two independent clauses with a conjunction and a comma. Then it is a compound sentence. The sloth eats and sleeps upside down. The sloth eats and sleeps upside down. Here is a simple sentence. It is one independent clause, but it is a compound predicate. Yes, that's right. Kiwi birds have nostrils on their beaks. They can smell earthworms. Also, if you notice that here I have a semicolon, and before it I have an independent clause, and after it I have an independent clause, then it makes a compound sentence. The last one, sharks have to keep moving constantly or they suffocate. Also, I have comma with conjunction or. Before it I have an independent clause. After it I have an independent clause. Then they make a compound sentence. Now create a compound sentence by joining the two independent clauses using a coordinating conjunction or a semicolon. Here I have independent clauses. I have to join them together to make compound sentences, either with a conjunction and a comma or a semicolon. So you are free to do whatever you want. 1. I'm driving to the office in an hour. I'll pick up the supplies on the way. So the first sentence, I'm driving to the office in an hour, I write it as it is, but I cross out the period. Then after it, either I add a semicolon or I add a conjunction with a comma. What conjunction could go here? I'm driving to the office in an hour. So I'll pick up the supplies on the way. Since there is a result, I can use so. I'm driving to the office in an hour, comma, so I'll pick up the supplies on the way. If you notice, the second sentence starts with a capital letter because I have I, which is the subject pronoun. 2. My family went to the park yesterday. We had a wonderful time. Also, I can add a semicolon after yesterday and I write the second sentence with a small letter. Or I can add a comma with a conjunction and, because here I'm adding information. Pay attention, you have to add the suitable conjunction, not any conjunction. It should go with the correct context clue. So here I'm adding information, so I use and. Number 3, we surveyed the dirty cabin. We each shrugged silently. Okay, so here you might notice that we have opposite ideas, so we can use but or yet. We surveyed the dirty cabin, comma, but we each shrugged silently, comma, but we used here. Since I have opposite contrast, then I can use but or yet. Or if you want to use the semicolon instead of the comma and but, also it is correct. Okay, now let's remember the narrative paragraph quickly because we have covered it before, but I want to remind you of it. And this time you're going to write very short narrative paragraph and you're going to use in it compound sentences. What is a narrative writing? A narrative is a story that is interesting for the reader. It is a story that is interesting for the reader, and this type of writing makes the reader feel as if he or she were part of the story, as if it was being told directly to him or her. And if you notice here, semicolon, this shows me that I used in the explanation a compound sentence. You see how compound sentences are beneficial to you in writing? Now, what are the elements of narrative writing? Let's remind you of the elements of narrative writing. The setting, where and when the narrative takes place. Characters, the people, animals, or inanimate objects who are affected by the actions of the plot or who are the cause of certain events. The plot, The who, what, where, when, why, and how outline that gives the narrative directions. Or in other words, I can say the plot is the events. What is the story about? One more thing at the end of this lecture. This is something bonus for you, beneficial, something that you must know, and it helps you a lot in becoming fluent in English, because most of the times when you speak English you might forget names of objects, okay? Or if you're writing, you're making a paragraph or you're writing, you start to think of these objects' names, so it's good to keep them in mind. This time I'm going to show you tools or objects related to the bathroom or to hygiene, okay? First of all, we have the measuring jug. We find it in the bathroom. We put in it the toothpaste, the toothbrush, for example. Also toothpaste, we know it, toothbrush. The clothes peg or cloth spin. The hanger. The hair dryer. The shampoo. The polish. The polish is that we use to clean the walls of the bathroom. Soap. Brushes. Toilet paper. Towels. Clothesline. You see, this is the clothesline where we hang the laundry, the wet laundry. The shower, the bathtub, the laundry detergent. These are the detergent, the liquids that we use or we add to the laundry to clean them. Buckets, mop, or all our mothers and we use buckets and mops to clean the floor. Soapy water. Washing powder or detergent, we call them washing powder, or also you can call it a detergent. We use them we add them to the dirty laundry to clean them. A trash bag, the trash can, also the sink, we have the toilet, we have the washing machine, and we have the laundry basket, the basket where we put the dirty laundry. And now we have reached the end. Thank you for listening. I hope that everything is clear for you. Bye bye.